No, I don't.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ohio State Primetime Live. I'm your co-host, Ryan Stano.
And I'm Garrison Gaddy.
Well, Garrison, I know it's been a little bit since we had talked. I know you had something going on Thursday, but
We're all good, we're all good, by the way. We're all
yeah,
good.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. But before we go ahead and get into some things, I just want to, you know, shout out, please like, share, subscribe, and on the Ohio State for the voice of college football. Any pretty much all of the things that we do for the love of the game. We do for you guys. That way, we are a community here, so we appreciate any support that you're able to get or give us. We have some memberships that we have. We've got great members. Shout out all of our members. Excuse me. And, as you guys know, there are 3 different memberships, the Blocko Club, JT wasn't short, we don't give a damn. So again, that helps give us the ability to, allows us to give you exclusive content, like we have. And I know Garrison was a part of a few of the things we've been able to give you guys. So any contributions you're able to give us, appreciate it. And, shout out to all the members that we have currently: Asia Poch Queen, AZ Buckeye, Philly fan, at Rock, Where One Goes, Matthew Miller, James Williams, Kinetic 615, CW2, Open Mike, Robert Howard, and Steve Hellwagon. Again, appreciate all of this support you guys are able to give us.
Yes, sir.
So, I know like I said, it's been a little bit since we've talked, and I wanted to get your thoughts here on some of the recruiting things recruiting stuff that has happened here in the last week or so. Specifically to the point where, I wrote about this, and Ohio State fans
you
are.
You got the link.
I can drop the link in there if you would like. But mainly the article
I would
was
like that, Ryan.
Okay, I will go ahead and drop it. The crux of the article was the fact that Ohio State fans were confused as far as the recruiting goes, because we were told on X or Twitter from both Hayes Fawcett and the Ohio State football main account that there were going to be multiple recruits that were going to commit. And really there was only one. There was the Elijah Newman Hall recruit, the 2028 running back, and people say he's one of the top running backs in the class, but 2028 so far away, they don't even have rankings out there yet. Yeah. So that was the only one that popped up. So what did you make of the fact that we were supposed to get multiple commitments and seemingly just one only happened?
So I think that everyone's allowed to be wrong here and there, right? So I think that maybe Hayes thought that something was going to drop. It didn't. But of course, over the next few days, we're going to find out a few things here, and we're going to talk about that here soon. In terms of the commit that we got for 2028, I saw a picture of him, and that he looks like a senior in high school. So
yeah.
At first, I was kind of like, I can care, and usually I can care less about these type of things, but I do think that sometimes when when you can see the forest from the trees, you go for it, right? And I think that they clearly saw this kid's talent. They clearly see the way he's built. It's nothing to be overly happy about, because now it's about 3 years of keeping him.
Yeah.
And so, which is the hard part to do. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I mean, listen, I'm not gonna be mad at any fan for getting excited about it. Of course.
No.
Why not be happy about someone who wants to join the Ohio State Brotherhood? But at the end of the day, I mean, what matters is this upcoming class, right? So I think that's all it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it was weird that the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Ohio State football account, they went ahead and tweeted 3 Buckeye emojis. And typically when they tweet out Buckeye emojis, 1 Buckeye emoji equals a commitment. And so when they went ahead and had 3 of them, fans were like, whoa, we're going to get 3. And then Hayes went ahead and put out 2 of the Buckeyes things. And okay, one or two. And, everyone was trying to figure out who it was going to be. Is it going to be,
Who do you think it was?
I was hoping it was going to be Luke Waffle, but that seemed, we could talk about him here in a second. But I was hoping it was going to be him or Atkinson or Gibson. I was praying it was Ojo. You know how much I want Ojo. But I'm surprised nothing else has come out. I know we've got a commitment here coming in on the 19th. With Mr. PJ Dean, I believe.
Have you seen him lately?
I'm sorry?
Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, dude, he's jacked. He's changed his mind because you know why? Because he knows Ohio State wants him on the D line.
Yeah.
Because he's been recruited as an O line some other schools, and we want him on the D line, and that's what you do. You bulk up to be able to play the D line.
Yeah. And let's be honest here. I mean, PJ Dean, he's a high school 250-pound defensive lineman. I mean, offensive lineman.
Yeah.
There's no dude. He's very athletic. He's a guard, right? Usually guards tend to be a little quicker, So no, I think that I'm very, very confident that we're getting PJ Dean. I think that he's done that to go to Ohio State and be a defensive edge player specifically. So he's a player that I really like. I mean, one time we talked about him, we showed his film on here. PJ Dean's a really good athlete, very good football player. It's really rare. I can't remember the last time I saw this, Ryan, where a kid is a top 100 offensive lineman and then he's also a top 100 defensive lineman.
Yeah,
that's impressive. That's
very rare.
Impressive.
Yes.
And so, I mean, first thing that comes to mind, and it's not even a direct. It's not even an equal because it's not the same thing. I mean, I remember back when Terrell Pryor was not only the number one football player in the nation.
He was a four-star basketball recruit.
He was a four-star. Yeah, he was a four-star basketball recruit. So yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah. So Ohio State should land him. We're gonna learn about Cincere Johnson here on Thursday. He's gonna make his official or on the 19th. Yeah, so that is Thursday. So we're gonna learn whether he's gonna choose Ohio State, Penn State, or Alabama. So they should have some clarity there. They feel pretty good about him. I do want to talk about Luke Waffle though, but before that, I want to see Burks. Savion Hyder, yes, that doesn't look great. However, it's definitely. I don't think Tennessee. I don't think Michigan's getting him. I think it's Tennessee. I think it's Tennessee. Tennessee has been the favorite for a while. So they're probably not going to get the number one back in the country, Ohio State. But that's why they've been able to add some. That's why you take that's why you get a favorite key. You get a local kid who can help with the depth. They've got some other guys, that they're looking at as well. So it's not just Hyder there. And honestly, Coach Locke, we've talked about it. We're pretty confident in the way he recruits. So I'm not, super worried about losing on Hyder if that ends up being the case.
Just to add to that real quick. And by the way, is my connection bad right now?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, cool. So on top of that, Burks, it's the fact, and we talked about this. We actually talked about this. That's too long, probably maybe a month ago. Ohio State has a very young running back room. Outside of our transfer, who just came in, C.J. Donaldson, who's a fifth-year senior, the second string running. I mean, not second string, but the other guy is a sophomore. Everyone else is either a sophomore or a freshman on this team at running back. So, and let's be honest here. Let's say Savion Hyder came. I'm very comfortable with Bo Jackson being back. like it's not even just
both
Bo
him
Jackson.
And Turbo. I know you love Turbo.
Oh my God, I love Turbo. And so I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's reasons why. And I think a lot of people forget this when it comes to recruiting. There are a lot of reasons why a kid will not go to a school, even though Ohio State's a better recruiter than Michigan. Ohio State's a better recruiter than Tennessee. Ohio State puts in running backs. I mean, no, Ohio State running backs have more success in the NFL than Tennessee or Michigan running backs.
Yeah.
But it's a case-by-case situation. So no, I never expected to get hired the same way. Like I was in a space last week. I told everyone I don't know why Ohio State keeps getting mentioned with Jet Washington. No
Yeah,
idea.
no, that was
No,
yeah.
no idea. So
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously he ended up coming in elsewhere. So and again, not a surprise. Not a surprise. What is a little bit of surprise is there have now been some unfortunate news as far as Luke Waffle's recruiting goes. Ohio State was seen as the favorite here, and now all of a sudden it seems like USC has jumped in front. And I'm not entirely sure what to make of that. I don't know if that's because of the fact that there's some NIL in play. I don't know if it's because Larry's turned his attention to some other defensive lineman. I'm not sure who, but I don't really.
I doubt it's that. I doubt it's that.
I wouldn't think so, but there's been some buzz that Jameer Perez might flip from Florida.
Yep.
But again, he's a borderline force. Like he's a 3-star guy. You would take Luke Waffle over him. So, what do you think the reasoning is? Why do you think all of a sudden Waffle's now waffling towards USC?
You're such a writer. Put that one in an article. But a few things. I'm kind of mad because you're Ryan. I am one to take many victory laps. You know how I am. I'm kind of mad that I ran away from my take of we're not getting him. I'm kind of mad about that. But I was happy to do that, right? Why wouldn't I be? On the other end, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong for this, but who else am I supposed to look at but Larry Johnson? My guy Maze Madman from Maze Madman Show Phil, he commented or he made a post on X about how Ohio State fans are, they just hate Larry and want to kill him. And so I responded to him. I said, Phil, respectfully, I think you need to understand what Ohio State fans are actually talking about when we say these things, instead of just being a Wolverine fan, bloviating about it, right?
Yeah.
And some guy, like some other Ohio State fan, he brought up all the recruits and all the draft picks from Penn State to Ohio State. And then he brought up about how JTT went second round. And then I asked this question. First off, JTT and Jack Sir are both top 5 recruits in the country, and they're a composite coming out of high school. Jack was actually ranked higher than JTT at number 2.
Yeah.
JTT was number 4, I believe, or 5. And I would ask, do you believe he got the most out of those 2 guys? Ryan?
College football wise, I think we talked about this.
Maybe we did.
So my official take on those 2 is Jack was more consistent over his Ohio State football career, but JTT's highs.
Oh, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, do you believe Larry Johnson got the most out of those 2 in their college football career?
I do not.
And that's my problem. Now, Tyleek did become a first-round pick. That did happen.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, like I told him, I said, Ohio State is not here for like average anything. Nobody is above reproach. Nobody.
And it's not even the fact, like the comment of Ohio State fans hate Larry Johnson. No, we don't. Larry Johnson has been a very good coach. Yes, he's been a very good coach for a very long time. Like he's got a track record that is pretty much unmatched when it comes to at the defensive line coaching ranks. And in order to understand where some Ohio State fans are coming from, it's really hard to sustain that level of coaching for as long as he has. But at some point, once that quality drops off, Ohio State fans are going to want to change. Like we're going to want someone who's a little bit younger, who can come in and grab the reins.
Alan Clark?
Yeah. We'll talk about him later. It's frustrating when you see someone who's been so great for so long, and all of a sudden you just see the drop off there. That's what the issue is. It's not that Ohio State doesn't love him anymore. It's the fact that it's probably time to move on. Like he's 75 years old. he doesn't have anything left to prove. He's got 2 national championships. He's won national championships under 2 different head coaches. What is there left to prove? Like, go enjoy your retirement, dude. Like, go sip sex on the beach. Like, I don't care.
Is that your favorite
Ohio
drink?
State it is a good drink. They need someone who's a little bit younger, who's a little bit more with the I don't want to say more with the times, because Larry's done a good job of adapting.
Yes, he has.
But as far as connecting with the players a little bit more, they need someone younger. And as years go on, more programs are going to keep negatively recruiting the fact that he's an old man, essentially. That's the issue.
Which is funny because I do agree with you that will happen eventually, but it hasn't happened yet. Again, it's Larry Johnson is still recruiting in the top 5, I would say, defensive line wise in the nation. The problem is we're seeing highly ranked, except Edric Houston, we're seeing a lot of highly ranked guys go other places and we're not seeing it at Ohio State, right? We're seeing it at Georgia. Where else are we seeing it at? I can't even think. I mean, we're seeing it all over the SEC. Let's be quite honest here.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is. So no, I mean, eventually LJ is going to do better, and I'll wait for it. If not, I'm going to get upset because again, and this is my main point in talking about LJ. If I'm going to sit here and criticize a head coach, please believe me, I'm going to criticize a position coach. I'm going to. So especially when you're old as dirt. And again, we don't hate Larry. We adore him. We expect better out of him. That's all it is. We expect
it's funny. I was just checking I've got a Twitter football chat with about 26 to 30 guys. Some of them are former beat members. And they were just bitching about Larry right now too. So I was checking to see if any other recruiting news had dropped, which it hasn't. But is there anything else you wanted to hit on the recruiting front before we went ahead and go ahead and move on?
Wait, let me see. Because I think there is. On the recruiting end, you said?
Yeah, on the recruiting end.
No, yeah, we hit the players I want to hit.
Okay. All right. Then let's go ahead and move on then. I know you wanted to talk about what Phil Steele's got for us. So go ahead and break down what you want to talk about.
Here, I was like in the middle of bringing that up when we started. But Phil Steele, of course, I actually bought his magazine for the first time last season.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was have you before?
I've not bought it, but I've read it. Like I've got friends who have had the copy, so I've perused it. But I mean, it's a pretty thick book it's the most in-depth preview you'll ever get.
Oh my gosh!
So he does a great job.
And it's so much he's done it for so long. He knows the game. He knows the sport. It's hard to almost disagree with him, but it's really in depth. You're really gonna like it. But by way of my guy Juck here, one second, let me share this screen for you guys. So Juck actually, I'm guessing Juck must have already bought it,
probably
clearly, because he's been posting everybody's stuff, but to an extent, because of course you don't want to do it to Phil.
Of course.
But let's see if I bring it. Is it up here now?
It's about to pull up. Looks like it's on its way. There we
go. This is called Bar Internet. By the way, everyone, if you're ever in Grand Rapids, Michigan, go to the Grand Woods Lounge. Great place, great service. The bartenders are awesome. If you're here, I'll get you.
Not sure why you would ever need to go to Grand Rapids or Michigan in general.
It's a top 3 city in the Midwest. By the way, happy 616 Day. Happy Grand Rapids Day, right?
Oh, see 614 Day was a couple days ago with the Columbus, Ohio. So we'll Ohio State fans care about that.
My second favorite city in America. I'm born and raised here.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to these rankings.
Grand Rapids, not Ann Arbor. Okay. Now.
Fine.
So as we see right here, so QB he has ranked 46, running back 15th, wide receiver 1, offensive line 13, which is like my biggest gripe. Well, I will get to why in a little bit.
Okay.
D-line 12, linebacker 9, DB 8. Ryan, what do you think?
I think wide receiver ranking, of course, that was a given. That would have been shocking if they weren't number one there. I'm a little bit surprised that quarterback is that low. I understand because, like, and we both assume it's going to be Julian Saint. He's an unproven commodity. Basically, whoever wins that job is going to be an unproven commodity. So that's reasonable. I understand it. The one thing I'm a little bit surprised with, I know you're very surprised about the offensive line. I'm surprised, quite frankly, that he's got the defensive line ranked higher than the offensive line because I've got major questions about the defensive line. I was very concerned with what I
can't
saw.
wait for this conversation.
I was very concerned with what I saw from the spring game. I know adding Bo Atkinson helps. I wouldn't say soothed a lot of the fears I have, but he helped. He helped with some of them. But there's still 3 other guys who are unproven who are going to end up taking that spot. So I don't know what that is going to look like. So I'm not that surprised. So I am surprised that they're ranked higher than the offensive line. And then I think the defensive back rating is still too low. Caleb Downs is the best safety in America. Davison Igbinosun is still like a really good corner. And Jermaine Matthews, I don't think the general public understands how good he is already. So I think that one is probably my biggest gripe. That should be a top 5 unit in college football. What say you?
Firstly, Burks. I would say either Kinetic or Maniac. To answer your question.
So you see the running back rating right there at 15. Also, like that's another I guess CJ Donaldson's he's had pretty good,
back-to-back 700-yard seasons plus.
Yeah.
So that's
800-yard season plus, and I think he had 11 touchdowns in each of those years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
QB. Now, I just like my guy Sean, cool Buckeye fan, love Sean. He got mad at me because my biggest gripe was offensive line, but he said quarterback, and my thing was this: it's two-sided. Just like you, Ryan, can I understand why he has us there?
Yeah.
Yes. But logic, and of course, this isn't a shot Bill still. Logic tells me different. There's not 46 quarterbacks in the nation better than Julian Saint. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar.
I don't even know if there's 46 quarterbacks that are better than Lincoln Keenholz.
No, there isn't. So, that's that. So, for me, I kind of took that and threw it to the side, right? Offensive line, I think it's dude, Ohio State, that interior offensive line ran through 3 of the best defensive lines in college football in the playoff. And one of them was Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, and Tegra was there. Tegra was there.
And Tegra had his moments.
He played good. I'm joking, but Tegra, I love you. You see this. You are a national champion. I love you. But but regardless of the fact, let me go on the record and say this right now. I don't think there's 5 offensive lines in the nation better than Ohio State's. I think Ohio State at the end of the nation is going to be in the running for the Joe Moore Award. And the only reason I don't have them winning it this year is because I think Penn State might win it. That's the only reason why I don't have it. So
to kind of, to talk about the offensive line, the good thing about all of the injuries that happened last year, you never want to see, you don't want to have, your best 2 offensive linemen go down with season-ending injuries. You never want to see that happen.
Yep.
But what it did allow the Buckeyes to do is develop depth, and that's something that they didn't have for years on the offensive line. So a lot of new guys had to play. Hinsman got back in the rotation. Luke Montgomery stepped up and started getting starter snaps on the offensive line. And that's going to be important for this season. So you've got guys who have played a lot of football. I mean, you've got Hinsman starting at center. You're going to have probably Luke Montgomery at left guard. You're probably going to have, you might have Tegra Shabola at right guard because it looks like Cerebell.
This isn't probably. Every spot's taken. There's only, and they said Cerebell is already going to start.
Cerebell, I was getting to him. He's probably going to be at right tackle, and he played a lot at guard last year. So those are 4 guys that played a lot of football at Ohio State. And obviously, left tackle, you're looking at Ethan O over there coming in from Rice. So you've got guys who have played a lot of football and not just played a lot of football. That offensive line played pretty damn well during that college football run. They were one of the big reasons why Ohio State won a national championship. So
Yep.
I also agree that 13 is too low. Do I think they're top 5 right now? I don't know. Because I think a lot of that is the offensive line is connected to the running back and connected to the quarterback position as well. Because you can have a great offensive line that blocks, but if you got a quarterback who holds onto the ball too long or doesn't necessarily know where to go, that's going to be an issue. If you've got running backs who can't find the open holes or doesn't have good ball carrier vision, that's also going to be an issue. So I don't know if they're top 5 yet, but they're definitely in the top 10. Like that's definitely low.
And then linebacker. I'm not mad at it. I'm happy they're top 10. I think it's shout out to Jake Butt, one of the best in the business. No, he said during the spring game, he said this is probably the most athletic linebacker duo in college football. So I do think that's gonna be fun to watch. DBs, I think that's insane.
Yes, that's my biggest issue.
And now that you say something about it, and shout out to Daniel Henry, see you in here, bud. When I see this, first off, like Jermaine Matthews, you know how I feel about him. I got to see him play football for the first time his freshman year, first game of the year I was there, and I saw that pick 6. And I don't care who it was against. I said, "Oh, I'm a believer." Because if you're a true freshman and in a college football game and you can make a play like that, chef kiss.
Yeah.
And then I look at Davison. Okay. If people want to hang on to those stupid holding calls, I think he led the nation last year with 13 of them. Okay, so we're talking about basically just over 1 a game, right?
Well, I think it was more than that. If you include, it was holding and defensive pass interference.
So I think it was like 16 then, right? Somewhere around there.
I think that's right. Yes.
Okay. We played. How many games did we play last year?
They played 17. Yes, he had 16 accepted penalties, and those were just accepted penalties. That was obviously the most in the.
Well, no one's not accepting a pass interference. So
correct.
And so
unless they get a touchdown.
Yeah, and that didn't happen against us. So for me, this is how I feel about it. Because again, in my mind, I just try to use common sense. That those are 16 snaps, right? So tell me about the other hundreds of them.
Yeah.
He's like the problem with Davison is that he plays like a linebacker. He's very handsy. I think he's the best tackling corner in college football. He's always around the corner. He's always around the ball. The problem is he's handsy. If he gets rid of that, I think he boosts himself up to a second or first round. Right now, I would say he's around a 4th round pick, maybe 5th.
I'd say he's higher than that. I'd say he's probably a 3rd rounder right now.
I think if he comes out this year, keep holding. You're moving yourself down, buddy. And then on top of that, it doesn't say CB. It doesn't say safety. It says DB. Is Caleb Downs not back there? The second best player in college football? I just, I don't know. Maybe Phil, maybe he's talking about you have Devin Sanchez back there. I don't think there's a cornerback unit like that.
Maybe he doesn't believe in Lorenzo Styles because Styles will probably be the nickel guy.
I'm a big believer in Lorenzo.
I know you are,
but but sure, I guess sure, and D-line, D-line I was surprised by.
The defensive line is a little bit too high as far as the ranking goes, but I think that's the only one he got wrong as far as in a negative light towards Ohio State. That defensive back, that's crazy work. There's no way that they're only the 8th best secondary room in the country. I think they're top 3 minimum.
Yeah.
Top 3 minimum.
So, Ryan, before we get going, we got how many minutes here? 10 minutes?
Yeah, we got a little bit.
Yeah, we got a little bit. And by the way, everybody, right after this, Ryan and I are going to move over. What's going on, Ron Tarver? Ryan and I are going to move over to our other stream. And here, how about this? Let me first off put this in here. But we are actually going to be doing a joint live show with Texas at the Boys of College Football. with Gerald and Matthew over there and talking Ohio State, Texas a little bit early. But there are a lot of things that I have had a lot of questions. So I messaged Matthew and I said, hey, I got questions about your team, man, and I really want to know, like, I want to see how they would answer them. So here's a link right here, everybody, for when we get out of here. We're going right at 8 o'clock. We're going to leave before that.
Yeah.
But Ryan, before we get going here, I want to ask you this and tell me where I'm crazy, where I'm wrong, and who I'm missing, okay?
Okay.
Now, I made my potential All-American list for the Ohio State Buckeyes. On offense, I had Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Luke Montgomery, because you know
Now, hold on. Now, are you talking first and second team?
First, second, or third.
Well, there's no third team All-American. There's first and second.
No,
and
first and second. That's all conference. But yeah, first and second.
Okay.
So Jeremiah, Carnell Tate, Luke Montgomery, because I think he's a dog. I just think he's a dog.
Okay.
Julian Sand and Max Clare. Who am I missing and who am I wrong on?
You're wrong on two guys. Luke Montgomery is not going to be an All-American. I know you love him. I know he's very good.
How do you know that?
I know that because when you're an offensive lineman, what you need is preseason hype to become an All-American.
What if we win the Joe Moore Award?
He's got a better shot at that point.
Okay.
But I mean, just look at it. Like if you look at how the offensive line, and it's really for the non-skilled positions. You have to come into the season with some big hype, whether you're a top 5 recruit or you were seen as one of the best players on an offensive line that won a national championship or competed, for a national championship.
Yeah.
That is the problem for Montgomery, is he only played 4 games last year where he was considered even close to a starter. So that's why I don't think he's going to be there. I also don't think Julian Sand is going to be an All-American. I think
if he goes crazy, Ryan, he's going to be an All-American.
If he goes crazy, but the problem is with an All-American, you get 2 quarterbacks. 2. And what's going to happen is you're going to have guys who put
potential. This is potential.
Sure.
Not saying they're going to dead ass be that. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't think he's going to potentially be up there just because, again, so preseason, not like Arch Manning. He's got a ton of hype. Drew Aller, ton of hype. Garrett Nussmeier, a lot of hype. Lenore Sellers. Like, these are guys everyone's already heard. And these are guys that everyone's watching and expecting them to play well. Julian Sand's not on that list. Now, can he play himself into there? Sure. Like, I think he's definitely better equipped to make the All-American team than Montgomery is. Mm-hmm. And Max Clare,
right? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Max Clare is he's a coin flip.
It's a coin flip. Yeah.
It's not because of him. Like, he's great. As we've talked about many times on this show, Ohio State just doesn't use the tight end. They just don't. So I don't know if he's going to make it. Again, not because of him, just because of how the offense is run.
Exactly. And then I'll make this quick here. Then defense, it's who did I say? I said Edric Houston, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Jermaine Matthews, and Caleb Downs.
I agree with Caleb Downs. Obviously, I agree with Sonny Styles. I will actually surprise you, and I'm going to put Igbinosun in there. I think he's got a shot to do something instead of Jermaine Matthews. Just because, again, like if they just, I don't even think it's necessarily a technique issue. I think it's a confidence issue because he's just pulling and grabbing because he doesn't trust his technique. If they fix that, he's as physical and as good of a corner as there is in the country. Like, he's hard to get away from. Look, I know you love Edric Houston. I know you love him. I don't think he's got a shot there, but who I do think has a shot is Bo Atkinson. So you go ahead and put him.
You think Bo's going to be on the field more than Edric?
I do.
Oh, hell.
I do. And you know what? As a defensive end, he's the only.
That's a good topic. I got to write that down.
Well, the other thing is, I think Edric's going to play more inside than I think he's going to play on the outside. I think they're going to move him more as a defensive tackle because he is one of those guys who can be versatile. Atkinson is the only guy who has proven pass rushing capabilities on this roster. And he had 7.5 sacks last year at North Carolina. I think he can be even better.
3.5 in one game. 3.5 in one game.
Sure. But I think he's got that potential to
does.
maybe get, 11, 12 sacks playing with, one of the best back sevens behind him. So.
All right, everybody. Well, Ryan and I have to go. But before we do, a quick word here from the voice of college. Oh my goodness, dude! I'm I'm so tired right now. A quick message from the voice of college football. Get your business, product, or service. Service or personal brand to the next level by partnering with the voice of college football. Let's discuss how you also can reach your target market. Check out the experience of one of our current partners, that being Win Agency, posted here on the screen, and we are here to deliver for you. Contact us at sponsorships@vocfb.com. Again, that is sponsorships at vocfb.com today.
Real quick, before we jump over there, I wanted to answer this quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if we see Jay Hicks on 3rd and long. I think he's going to get chances against the bad teams like the non-con, Grambling State, Ohio, I don't know about Texas. I am not bullish on his ability to really do great things on the edge. What do you think?
And my answer to that is maybe. I think you're going to see him more. You're still going to see him at a linebacker role, kind of hybrid role, blitzing. I think he's a blitzer, and that's all you keep him as.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed. All right. Well, as Garrison said, we'll go ahead and move over to the other stream. He posted the link in the chat. So if you want to see Texas Ohio State preview, that's what we're going to be talking about over there. So please join us. Other than that, we will see you on Thursday for the call-in show. So bring in your questions and comments then. We'll probably end up starting that one a little bit early as well, probably around 7:30 because of conflict with the day job. Gotta keep those Pacers winning games. So
just win, okay?
Yes,
I'm not happy for you, but just win.
Yeah, they gotta win. We will see you guys on Thursday, and hopefully we'll see some of you on the other on the other channel.
Ayo.